Welcome to another episode of the Chicks on the Right podcast, where we talk to our friend and sponsor of the show, Zach Abraham from Bulwark Capital Management. And Zach, I'm sure you've noticed, because we have too, we've actually talked about this on other podcasts, that there's this whole trad wife new movement. There's this new recognition that a lot of people would love to revert back to Mad Men era, where it's a guy going out and earning a living and the wife stays home and with the kids. And a lot of people now are looking at that as the revised American dream instead of the whole dual income family. So what do you make of this revival of this of this way of living? And how, as a financial planner, would you tell people in this economy that it's doable? Like, what can they do to make it doable?
Yeah, I was telling you guys this off screen. I have an interesting perspective. So first of all, I want to be careful when I'm talking about this. I know not everybody will be able to do this. I understand that. I'll just kind of tell you my walk through it. My original goal, my first professional goal, and my wife has an MBA, so she's the smarter of the two of us. And but she wasn't her passion growing up. She got a scholarship to school for opera singing for college, and so
that's cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah, she's a heck of a musician. So her passion, but she got an MBA, and so we were both working in the financial industry. Well, I wanted to manage money since I was like 7, right? So I was like Alex P. Keaton. People were always joking, calling me Alex P. Keaton, because I loved Ronald Reagan and I wanted to talk about stocks.
Mm-hmm. So I've got to say that is like, you were a weird kid.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
Like amazing, but also so unusual.
We would have been friends. We would have totally been friends. Like.
Well, thank God I had some athletic ability, because I've always thought, like, if I didn't, I would have been like a complete nerd.
Biggest
just stuck
nerd.
in the corner, know? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, but my first goal, and I'll kind of give you the genesis of this. I did not grow up in a family like this. Both my parents were, but my first goal was I knew that I was in an industry where if I did well, we would be able to support a single family. But B, the other biggest issue was my career was what I always wanted to do, right? It wasn't my wife's. And she was the higher earner for us in the beginning. And so she spent a lot of time doing a job that she didn't like. And my goal was, okay, if you'll get me through the early stages, hopefully by your mid-30s, if not earlier, you'll have the choice. You can work if you want to, if you're passionate about something, just because it felt unfair, right? We both went to work, but I loved what I did. She didn't.
Right.
So I'm pursuing my dreams. She's not. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so the other part of it was this. I didn't want our house serving two masters. Right. Meaning if both people are working for a job outside of the home, right, for different companies, then by definition, both people have to answer to somebody outside of the home.
Yeah.
Right. And if only one of us had to, we could actually raise our own kids, which kind of seemed like a bonus to me. But B, if that wasn't my wife's passion, then she'd have the space to find it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so those were the kind of the biggest goals. Is I didn't want to have this scenario where the other part of it was selfish, right? Like, meaning, I hated the idea of both of us getting home at 6:30. That I have so much respect for two working spouses. It's so freaking hard, and I just tip my cap to them.
It is
raising kids. Nothing but respect. I am not speaking down to anybody or calling anybody out, but I will say this: I know we've prioritized the wrong things. Okay, we've talked about this on this show before. Okay, Malcolm Gladwell talked about this in his book. Up to a certain point, money does make you more happy.
Mm-hmm.
After that point, when the basic needs are met, it has incredibly diminishing returns, right? And having somebody in your house, having at least one of you that does not answer to a voice outside of the home, having one of you there with your children every single day when they get home, that to me has got an incredible value. that may not show up in your 401k or on your net worth statement, but it will show up on your net worth statement, I believe, years down the road.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It doesn't actually even have to be traditional. Like we're older parents, my husband and I, but I've noticed even in the past 2 years since my husband has been retired and I'm the one working full time, I love it. I love our life right now because we still have a daughter that is in school. She's a school age kid.
Yep.
And he does a lot of the heavy lifting with not just with her, because we both raised her. Obviously I work at home. So it is a total blessing, our life. But when it comes to like driving her and doing activities and stuff like that, he pulls most of the weight there. And it takes a little bit of the pressure off me to have to like do the driving and stuff like that. So I can enjoy the job that, like you said, you love your job. I love my job. And he didn't necessarily love his job, you know what I mean? So it's one of it's not even like a gender thing. I think for just having one person, you're right, serve that master, and then the other person not. It really, I hear what you're saying. It's just like, for me, it's maybe not traditional, but I hear that. I hear what you're saying.
And you work a job. Both you and Miriam work a job, but you guys work for yourselves, right?
Yeah,
so
we
you're
do.
Still not answering
but we're very
to another.
lucky, right?
We are.
What do you tell people? Say that you are financially advising maybe a fresh grad and they just got their first job, they're newlyweds, and the say it's the guy, just for traditional trad wife purposes, and he just got a job making 60 grand, right?
Yeah.
And they want nothing more than to just make that 60 grand serve both of them.
Stretch.
What do you tell them? Yeah. How do you tell them from a financial perspective? Like, is the only answer that you're just gonna be in an itsy bitsy apartment? Like, what are some practical strategies that they can use to make that money go as far as it needs to go?
Yeah. And where can they sacrifice? Because you're going to have to sacrifice, right?
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So first of all, this might be the most unpopular part of my answer. But first of all, I would sit the young man down and say, listen, you chose to get married. Okay. Are you going to have kids? Yeah. Okay. It's your job to take care of your family. Period. End of story. And I'm not a perfect person. I'm far, far from it. But when my wife and I made that jump and she quit her job, while doing this, I was cleaning people's decks to make sure that our family so we could figure it out. Right. So I would look at him and go, if your goal is to work 40 hours a week and make $60,000, what are you doing getting married? Right. Your job now is to take care of your family and your children. Your job is to provide space for your wife to pursue her interests. If that means you got to work on the weekends, if that means you got to push 70, 80 hours a week, which I did for 10 years, okay, that's what you got to do. But don't sit around that is your purpose as a man. It wasn't to sit at home and to play video games and to online bet. Okay. It was to get off your backside and go make space and carve out a place for your family. And maybe, I'm not saying everybody's going to manage money or everybody's going to get rich, but everybody can go work their tail off at work. They can do some community colleges on the classes on the side to increase their ability to get hired for different jobs. You got truck drivers for FedEx making $170,000 a year.
Yeah.
If you're willing to work, the money is out there. It is. But when I the other thing I'd tell that guy is, do you want to see your wife look at you in a completely different way that gives you purpose and meaning? Go out and let her see you busting your backside for your family. You want to feel truly appreciated and purpose-filled?
Yes.
Let your kids see you getting up at 4:30 in the morning to bust your backside for your family. Then that's the making money part of it. The other part of it is we got to reestablish your family priorities. Maybe having a Louis Vuitton purse isn't the most important thing, right? Maybe having a Cadillac Escalade, which costs more than your annual salary, isn't a good idea.
So
right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How about you go buy an 8-year-old, 9-year-old Toyota Sequoia or a Honda Pilot? Right? I told the story. I built Bulwark driving a 2001 Ford Focus with 200,000 miles on it. Hatchback too. It wasn't even a cool one.
It wasn't even a cool one.
But now I will also say it isn't easy. Okay. I am so freaking glad that period of my life is over. For now, right? God's got his own plan. So, maybe I'd have to go through it again. But if I do, I know the game plan.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's amazing to me when you are purposeful in life and you set a goal. And if the goal is for one person to work and the other person to stay home, you can figure it out. It's not impossible. Right.
I hope it's coming back. I really do hope it's coming back, because I look at like my grandparents' generation. My grandpa had 3 jobs. He had 3 jobs. Yeah. That's just what they did. And my grandma didn't work. I mean, I look back, that was their generation. I hope it starts coming back. I really do. Because there's something to be said. You're right. Because there's something to be said for men who do that. I think that you're right. I think that they're looked at differently. I think that they feel differently about themselves. I think that they are different.
Oh, yeah.
And so
man. The pride I felt when my wife was finally able to quit her job. Mm-hmm. And I remember a bunch of coworkers at work told her, "You'll be back. We've seen this before." She has not been back. Praise God. A lot of good things broke our way outside of just us. But I look at young people and I'm just like, man, quit. There's this, if you want to accomplish good things in life, you need to accept the fact that there's going to be an 8 to 10 year period of lost time.
Some pain. Just grinding. There's going to be some pain. Yeah.
It is. But front that pain. Right. Mm-hmm. Taking that pain at 30 is so much easier than doing it at 50 or 40.
You're damn right.
Front load that pain and just work your tail off, and do not live this consumption-based life.
Right.
Like you look at most of these people, a lot of these people out there could probably do it now. Mm-hmm. Right. Just not with their spending practices.
Right.
They're spending like the government.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, no, right. And no, they are, because they're running deficits. It's called a credit card, right? Yeah. Same basic idea. And you just don't need it. It's not. And look, and again, I'm not trying to be a hypocrite. I've got a beautiful life. And I, with that, have come a lot of different luxuries that I didn't think I'd be able to afford. But they're minimal expenses. They're meaningless now. And that's when you wait to do those things. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And there's still I still own one watch. And it's not even nothing crazy, right? Like I still buy. I bought a new car for myself. It was 2 years old with 20,000 miles on it, right? Like, just because once you start realizing how trivial and stupid it all is, you're just like, yeah, I could get a new one for an extra 50 grand, or I could save 50 grand and have the exact same experience.
Exactly. Exactly.
So it's
I love that. I feel like you're a tough love financial planner, which is what some people really, really need. And certainly if they don't have a financial planner, they should be looking at possibly checking you out. How can they do that?
Well, first of all, that was what we call an all pro transition.
I know. She's the best at the segues.
Yeah, thank you.
She's she's going to write a book on it. I'm convinced.
Well, I mean, if you ever want to get a side hustle, rounding up some money and managing some clients, let me know, because we'll move you. We'll move you over. But yeah, no, easy way to get a hold of us is go to our website, bulwarkcapitalmanagement.com. We've got a webinar coming up, I believe, the May 22nd of this month.
Yeah.
We walk through our process, how we do all of our stuff. You can find us on YouTube, Know Your Risk Podcast. We do a daily podcast summarizing everything economic, political, and market driven that happened that day. Pretty easy to find. Just Google, Know Your Risk Radio, Know Your Risk Podcast, and we're all over the place.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And you know what I love the best about your firm is that you guys are communicative.
Oh,
because
it helps.
We're clients too, but I mean, I'm just saying, like, that's one of the things I really love about you guys. Just putting that out there. So
yeah, well, thank you so much.
Definitely calling you guys. Call Zach.
That's right.
Yes, thank you, ladies. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Investment advisory services offered through Trek Financial LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. The opinions expressed in this program are for general informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual or on any specific security. Any references to performance of securities are thought to be materially accurate, and actual performance may differ. Investments involve risk and are not guaranteed. Past performance doesn't guarantee future results. Trek 24308.